Today I'm doing another video in my deep dive into the 2024 presidential elections video, and this one is a big one. This is the state of Texas. Texas and its 40 electoral votes, I believe, is the second biggest electoral vote prize there is on the entire 2024 election map, just behind California. And Texas is a state that is absolutely critical to Donald Trump's pathway to victory in 2024. This is a state that's been well thought of as a Republican stronghold for years, and some recent polling shows that it is actually closer than you might expect. If this is a state that Donald Trump loses on election night, his chances of winning are essentially over. If Donald Trump wins the state of Texas, then that at very least keeps his presidential chances well within the hopes of winning. So Texas, like California, like New York, the biggest bastion of electoral votes for its respective party on the electoral map, very, very big in Texas. Looking at Texas's voting history, it might shock you at actually how close this is. In 2020, Donald Trump won statewide in Texas by 5.6% of the vote. In 2016, Donald Trump won statewide in Texas by 9% of the vote. And in 2012, Mitt Romney won statewide in Texas by 15.8% of the vote. What's worth noting here is in the current RCP polling average in Texas, Trump currently has 50.5% of the vote to Harris's 44.8% of the vote. And to be very blunt, for 2024, I think Donald Trump is in a very good position to win the state of Texas. However, it's looking more like he's going to win it by a 2020 margin of about 5 to 6 percentage points than a 2016 margin of about 9 or 10 percentage points. And that might be a concern for Republicans more down the road in, say, 2026 or 2028. Because as I mentioned, Texas is very much important to Republicans' pathway to victory on the Electoral College map. If they were to have the state of Texas become a toss-up state and lose the state of Texas, their chances would be very, very hurt and essentially over at winning at that point. So Texas is a state Republicans have to be very concerned about in the future. As for 2024, I think it's a state that looks like President Trump is in decent polling position, but not in safe polling position. As I showed you, only 5 to 6% lead would not be enough to be like, that's a runaway safe Republican state. But it's not a state that's like Wisconsin or Pennsylvania that's a very close toss-up state. It's kind of in like the likely to lean area of where I would personally put Texas. As for the national vote statewide, in 2020, Joe Biden won the popular vote by 4.4%. 2016, Hillary Clinton won it by 2.1%. 2012, Barack Obama won the popular vote by 3.9%. That's an average margin of victory result of 3.5%. However, it is worth noting, Kamala Harris right now is leading in the 2024 head-to-head national polling average by just 1.7% of the vote, which would be the smallest out of all the last 3 elections if the polls are correct, and that's what the popular vote ended up being on election day, which would be even smaller than 2016 when Hillary Clinton did win the popular vote but lose the Electoral College narrowly to Donald Trump. Now looking how Texas votes compared to the national vote, in 2012 Texas voted 19.7% more Republican than the nation. In 2016 it was 11.1% more Republican than the nation, and in 2020 it was 10% more Republican than the nation. So the one, I think, fact that Republicans can take solace in for the state of Texas, even though in 2020 it was only 5.6%, it was still 10% more Republican than the popular vote. So if Kamala Harris does win the popular vote by 1.7%, well, if Texas were to go 10 points again to the right of the popular vote, that would be about a 9-point win for Donald Trump. If it's, say, 9%, that'd be an 8-point win, and so on and so forth. So at least the trend from this stat looks good for Texas remaining in the Republican column, especially for 2024. Texas statewide, the ratings for the forecast, Real Clear Politics has Texas as lean for Donald Trump. Sabato's Crystal Ball has it as likely for Donald Trump. Inside Elections has it as likely Trump. Decision Desk HQ in the Hill has it likely Trump. Cook Political Report has it as likely Trump. Not a state we can say 100% certain is going to be won by Trump, but a state we could probably say is 95% likely to be won by Trump. Not a safe state like, say, Nebraska or South Dakota, but again, not a toss-up state like Pennsylvania. It's definitely more likely than not going to be won by Donald Trump come election night. Now for some key counties I'm watching for in Texas. Texas is a very big state with lots and lots of very small area counties. And to be honest, I whittled it down to about 4 counties in terms of just counties themselves, and also some counties that have the major population centers in Texas I'm also watching. If I went over every key competitive county in the state of Texas, to be honest, I could probably do like a 2-hour video on it. That's how many there are. So these counties I'm choosing right now are Tarrant County, Collin County, Williamson County, and I believe it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Nueces County. Tarrant County is home to the city of Fort Worth, which is right next to Dallas. This is a county that typically is more of a close county. Used to be Republican, but trending more to be more of like a suburban, more toss-up county. Collin is a county that's a suburb of Dallas, right outside of Dallas. That is one that's a Republican county, but has trended a little bit more Democratic. Still Republican, but more to the Democratic side in the last few elections. For instance, in 2016 to 2020, dropping down about 7 percentage points. Williamson County, this is a suburb of the capital city of Austin. It's voted Republican in all 3 of the last 3 elections, but again, dropped about 7% less Republican from 2016 to 2020. So that's what I'm watching for in the margins. Nueces County, this is where the city of Corpus Christi is, very similar to Williamson. And Collin, it dropped down about 7% less Republican from 16 to 20. I'm watching that one very closely as well. Tarrant County is the only one of these 4, I believe, is in real danger of flipping to the Democrats on election night. Again, that's where Fort Worth is. As for the counties of where Austin, Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio are, Austin, the county where Austin is, voted 45.1% Democrat in 2020. Houston voted 13.3% Democrat in 2020. Dallas, 31.7% Democrat in 2020. And San Antonio, 18% Democratic in 2020. And as I show you their respective years, I'll show you what the numbers end up being for each of the years. So statewide, this is what I'm talking about. Look at all the small counties in Texas. It would take absolutely forever to go over all these counties. So I just broke it down into these very nicely color-coded counties to try to make things a little less confusing, because I initially use only gray arrows when I'm pointing to the counties on the map, but since Texas's counties are so small, it kind of gets a little confusing, so I'm going color-coded on this one. Collin County, 51.4% to 47.1% in 2020. Oh, by the way, statewide, Donald Trump got 52.1% of the vote to Joe Biden's 46.5%. Collin County, 51.4% to 47.1%, right above Dallas. Tarrant County, Fort Worth, right next door, 49.3% to 49.1% in Tarrant County. Williamson County, right near Austin, 49.7% to 48.3% in favor of Biden. And Nueces County, Corpus Christi, 50.8% to 47.9%. And again, looking at the cities, in Dallas, Dallas County is the name of the county for the city of Dallas, 65.1% to 33.4%. Houston, this is Harris County, 56 to 42.7, advantage Biden. Austin, this is called Travis County, 71.6, 26.5, advantage of Biden. And San Antonio, Bacar County, 58.2 to 40%. As you can see, keep an eye also on El Paso, and right over here in Culberson County, and on the southern part of Texas, you'll see a lot of blue, but also some areas of red down here, some lighter red, and a little bit of the orangish color as well, showing lean and likely margins. Keep an eye on that for 2016, because in 2016, you'll see a lot of southern Texas became blue in this election, and Trump has actually improved his margins in these areas in 2020, and it'll be interesting to watch in 2024 as well. As for the key counties and statewide, Donald Trump got 52.2% to Hillary Clinton's 43.2%. And when you look at it, and I'm quickly just going to go back to 2020, look, 52.2, Trump got 52.1 in 2020. Trump ran about the same across the entire state in Texas from 2020 to 2016. However, Joe Biden was able to shore up a lot of Democratic support that Hillary Clinton was not able to do. That will be the question for Kamala Harris in 2024. Is she capable of having a Joe Biden-like shore up of support in Texas, or a Hillary Clinton one? In Collin County, where Fort Worth, right above Dallas, 55.6 for Trump, 39 for Clinton. Tarrant County, Fort Worth, right next door to Dallas, 51.7 to 43.1. Williamson County, outside of Austin, 51.3, 41.6. And Corpus Christi, Nueces County, 48.6 to 47.1. Now in Dallas, it was 60.8, 34.6 in favor of Clinton. Harris County, where Houston is, 54, 41.6 for Clinton. Austin, 65.8, 27.1 for Clinton. And San Antonio, 54.2, 40.8 for Clinton. Now looking at 2012, the last time the state of Texas could really be considered a true safe Republican state, over 10% of the vote. We will see that in Collin County, or actually first, 57.2% for Romney, 41.4% for Obama statewide. Collin County, 33.5% for Romney, very big win. Tarrant County, 57.1%, 41.4%, massive win for Romney in Fort Worth. Williamson, 59.4%, 37.9%, massive win outside of Austin. And Nueces County, 51 to 47.6%, relatively consistent with what we're seeing now from the Corpus Christi area. Now for the city of Dallas, 57.1 to 41.7, advantage Obama. Houston, 49.4, 49.3, a very, very close win. Very, very close for Barack Obama in Houston, extremely close. Austin, 60.1, 36.2 for a win of Obama. In San Antonio, 51.6 to 47, very, very close one as well for Obama. So that's Texas from 2020 to 2012. You can certainly see from 2012 to 2016, the southern part of Texas got a lot bluer, and you could even argue that the upper part of Texas near the Dallas area got bluer as well, leading through 2020. However, in 2020, it also looks like the southern tip of Texas did start to get a little bit redder, with some more red counties mixed throughout. Corpus Christi remained pretty similar. However, you can definitely say the Austin area and Dallas-Fort Worth area has gotten bluer. And that may be a reason why statewide the Democrats have increased their margin and made Texas a more competitive state. Now looking specifically for 2024, we're going to look at the range of elections results for the state of Texas. In 2020, Donald Trump got 52.1% of the vote. In 2016, he got 52.2% of the vote. And in 2012, Mitt Romney got 57.2%. Conducting a range of the highest number, 57.2, minus the lowest number, 52.1. Getting that total and then taking that total and adding it and subtracting it to the high end and the low end of the past three elections. We have a range on the Republican side of 47% at the absolute lowest point for the Republicans and 62.3% of the absolute highest point for the Republicans based on the last three elections. And barring a complete polling miss, I fully expect the election results for Texas in 2024 on election night will come between these 2 percentage points. The average vote percentage across the last three elections has been 53.8% of the vote. That is the Republican side. On the Democratic side, 2020, Joe Biden got 46.5%, Hillary Clinton in 2016 got 43.2%, and in 2012, Barack Obama got 41.4%. An estimated range doing the same formula, the high minus the low, taking that number, adding and subtracting it to the high and low ends, gets a low for the Democrats of 36.3, a high of 51.6. Again, barring a complete and total polling miss, I fully expect election night to have the Texas Democratic number be between these two numbers. And this is a scenario where if the Democrats perform their absolute best and the Republicans perform their absolute worst, there is a very slight window where the Democrats could potentially win Texas. But for that to happen, a lot would have to go wrong for Donald Trump on election night, and a lot would have to go right for Kamala Harris on election night that I personally just don't think is very likely to happen at this time. Not impossible, but highly, highly unlikely in my opinion. The average vote percentage across the last three elections for the Democrats in the state of Texas is 43.7%. And I do think we'll see a trend in the state of Texas of 2012 to 2016 to 2020 of the Democrats getting better. I'm not sure if there's too much more room in Texas for the Democrats to do much better. Whereas Trump, on the other hand, it was clear from Romney to Trump there was a fall off in Texas. There was less support for Trump in Texas than there was for Romney. However, it only went down by 0.1 from 2016 to 2020. It might fall a little bit more, but I'm not really sure how much more it would go. So for my prediction for the state of Texas and its 40 electoral votes, I think Donald Trump wins the state of Texas with 52%. Harris gets 45.7% with a margin of victory of 6.3%. I just don't think there's really too much room left in the state of Texas for it really to move in the 2024 election. As for 2028 and 2032, that's a different story. 4 years is a lifetime in politics. A lot of things can change. In 2024, I just don't think there's going to be a massive jump in how Texas votes on election night. And I think a very similar election result to 2020 is the most likely outcome right now in the Lone Star State. So it's 40 electoral votes go to Donald Trump. And on the 2024 electoral map, right now, Kamala Harris has 97 electoral votes. And for the first time in my deep dive series, Donald Trump has taken the lead over Kamala Harris. Trump is now at 100 electoral votes to Harris's 97. This is after giving Harris the states of Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, and Colorado, and Trump the states of Alaska, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and now Texas. We got about half of the country done right now across looking at the map. We have a lot more ways to go looking at the rest of the map, and I really hope you please stay tuned for that, as I'll be doing more and more videos on every single state leading up until Election Day. In the meantime, please enjoy the sneak peek of my full 2024 Election Day prediction, where I go over the state of Texas. Please enjoy. It is now 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have a second huge poll closings of the night, including several key, very important battleground states. The states with their polls closing right now are Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Now let's take a look at what projections we can make at this time. Now to a very, very big important call. The state of Texas and its 38 electoral votes. Some polling showed it close, but the second biggest state by population in the country, Donald Trump has won the state of Texas and its 38 electoral votes. Very big win for Trump there. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really, really, really like the video. And remember to stay tuned, because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day, so I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.